I hate to be the bearer of bad news, especially when it comes to Diddy winning in court. As I previously told you all, Kim Porter's baby daddy and Cassie's ex-boyfriend was scheduled to appear in a Manhattan courtroom today. He showed up and won multiple victories. First, even before the hearing started, Diddy arrived without shackles. His lawyers argued last night in a request to the judge that he appear without shackles because that is perceived possibly by potential jury members in a negative light. Bias. And the judge agreed. So Diddy was there without shackles. And he was in a great mood, joking with his lawyers. But it appears that he's lost a considerable amount of weight behind bars. I guess the food at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn isn't like the chef meals that he was used to. Wah, wah. So, victory number 1 for Diddy was no shackles. Victory number 2 for Diddy. As I told you, last week, the federal prosecutors told the judge in this case that a sweep of Diddy's cell rewarded them with a treasure trove of notes and information that they allege revealed criminal wrongdoing while locked up, talking about paying off witnesses, silencing victims, etc. His lawyers argued that that was privileged information, attorney-client privilege. And the judge said today that he will not take into consideration any of the notes or information gathered from that cell sweep. Diddy has another scheduled hearing this Friday for specifically the issue of being released on bail yet again. The judge will hear what his lawyer has to say, and unfortunately, the prosecutors took an L, at least temporarily. Another win for Diddy is the judge ordered that prosecutors destroy all copies of his handwritten notes and all of the information gathered from the cell sweep. However, the judge says that the originals should stay with him in the court, and he will at a later date determine whether it will be admissible or not in court. Remember, the hearing today happened after his lawyers yesterday requested this emergency hearing. There was already the pre-planned one for Friday about the bail issue. The issue today was specifically with regards to the information and materials collected from his jail cell. Prosecutors, however, argued today that most of the items taken during the sweep, which the government says was pre-planned at the facility before his arrest, was unrelated to the case and did not target specific inmates. The prosecutors say that the items taken were not legally privileged. Mark Agnifilio, however, told the judge, quote, "When we visit him in jail, we have lists. Everything in these pads are things we discuss. Trial strategy, who we should speak to undermine a witness's credibility. We discuss everything with Mr. Combs." Judge Arun Subramanian ruled that the court will keep the papers and that the lawyers on both sides should submit briefs about the issue over the next few weeks. Prosecutors have accused Diddy of trying to influence, either through bribes or blackmail, potential witnesses while behind bars. Assistant U.S. Attorney Christy Slavic said that the papers taken from his cell, 11 pages and 8 pages of a calendar book, feature Diddy's writings about paying off witnesses and finding dirt on victims. The assistant U.S. attorney says, quote, "A witness was paid off, and finding dirt on two different victims is not privilege. Additionally, Slavic, the assistant U.S. attorney, alleges that on October 14th, Diddy called a family member to work with someone who is not a lawyer about finding information about an accuser. That is not privileged. Marky Mark Agnifilio said that he wants to know how prosecutors obtained the papers and to see the surveillance video, and he argues that the incident could lead to the dismissal of the indictment or the recusal of the entire prosecution team. Unlikely. In fact, Slavic, the federal prosecutor, claims that no member of the prosecution team was aware of the search prior to it happening, nor were they responsible for it. It was conducted by the Bureau of Prisons independently. And that was confirmed in today's hearing by a representative for the Bureau of Prisons. They said it was part of this ongoing covert investigation, and it was done in multiple facilities. However, Marky Mark Agnifilio says the bottom line is that no multi-agency law enforcement initiative justified rifling through Mr. Combs's personal handwritten notes of conversations with his lawyers, and the prosecutor's arguments to the contrary lack all credibility. Additionally, Mark claims, could be a lie, but this is what his lawyer says, that Diddy had written the word legal on the stack of documents of papers that was taken from his cell. And thusly, there was no reason for an investigator to search through the papers or take them into possession. Quote, virtually every single thing in these legal pads are matters he discusses with his attorneys, calling the seizure a complete institutional failure. However, the federal prosecutors alleged and told the judge that the notes were vetted first by a filter team before they were given to the court. The judge has not decided on what will happen in the long term with this information gathered from his cell, as I told you already. And in another bombshell, oh my God, it pays to watch my videos in full. There's just so much to digest and share with you all from Diddy's hearing. I have done my research, and Slavic, the federal prosecutor, says that authorities are still investigating Diddy. They are still investigating and may bring more charges against him. So, he scored some wins today, but will he continue his winning streak on Friday? I think not. The likelihood of Diddy being released on bail, even with his proposal of $50 million and round-the-clock surveillance and no access to the internet or a phone and a visitor log, I think highly unlikely that he will be released. Do you think he should? Do you think he will? Do you think he deserves more charges? Thoughts on what happened today? Thoughts on everything? Let me know in the comments section.